Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudemire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hey everybody, it's Anita with Better Love Movement, and we are in the final episode of 2019. I can hardly believe it. We are on the cusp of 2020, and it's surprising to even me that I am walking into 2020. That's amazing. I mean, if you would have told me when I graduated high school that I would one day walk into 2020, I mean, yeah, I thought it would happen, but I don't know, maybe back then we thought that, life would be like the Jetsons and there'd be, flying spacecrafts and all of that stuff that we saw in the Jetsons cartoon. I'm dating myself by telling you all that. But no, we're not there yet, but we are a few days away from 2020, and I'm excited. I'm excited to step into a new decade and to bring you all an entire month. So the entire month of January is MCM, Man Crush Month. And I am super excited to bring you all 6 or 7 episodes where I will interview men, and more men about things related to dating and relationships. And we're going to talk about all kinds of interesting topics. I am so excited for the month of January. And that happens to be my birthday month. So this is perfect. I am super excited to bring you these interviews. I'm super excited to bring you more products in the month of January and February. I am super excited to bring you a new course that's going to be coming out shortly. And the preview to that course is going to actually be a free course. So if you are on my mailing list, if you follow me on Instagram or my Facebook page, you're going to have access to a free course as a preview to the main course, the big course. So if you have not already, head over to the website, sign up for my email list, or head over to Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Better Love Movement, Facebook page, Better Love Movement. Heading over to the website, betterlovemovement.com. Everywhere you go, that's what it is. And get ready to have the most amazing year of your life, of your dating life, of your relationship life. Get ready to truly walk into the love that you desire, to the relationship that is just going to light you up inside and out. So I'm excited. I'm excited to work with my feminine energy women and really walk them into these new skills, this new time in your life. I'm super excited. I'm excited for myself. There are new tips and tools that I'm practicing and learning every day, and I'm excited to share them with you. But today, we're a few days away from 2020, and we are in episode 61. This is the final episode of this year, and I don't know what took me so long to talk about this. But the title of today's episode is Toxic Femininity. So we heard this year, I believe, 2019, was the year of the man. Like there was a lot of buzz, a lot of talk, not only from men, about men, but to me, men really this was the year of the man. Like, a lot of men really came to terms with their stuff. Like, they came to terms with the fact that, they're struggling, that they are not taking good mental care of themselves or emotional care of themselves. And that finally, like, became acceptable to talk about. And we address toxic masculinity. We heard that a lot this year. That was a buzzword. Another buzzword that very much annoyed me, still does, is basically calling everyone a narcissist. You all know how I feel about that. Everyone is not a narcissist. Everyone does not have that diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. And if you really want me to go there, we all have a little narcissistic tendency in us, all of us. So that was a big buzzword this year, that everybody was a narcissist. So, oh my gosh, I got so tired of hearing that, that everybody suffered from narcissism. So, okay. But I was excited that a lot of prominent men released really good books this year, good dating and relationship books, or books on manhood. I was really excited about that. I purchased probably most of them and read them. I shared them with the men in my life, and I have shared them with you all here on my platform. But I think this was a good year. This was a beginning year of men really taking inventory, taking stock on their mental health and their emotional health. And I like to tell a lot of my clients when I'm in session, especially my couples, I say there are two emotions that are culturally acceptable for men to express here in the West. One is anger. It is perfectly fine for a man to be angry, for him to be pissed off, for him to be furious, whatever words you want to use, but anger. Anger is acceptable from a man, right? And then the second is lust. So when a man is lusting, whether he's lusting after a woman on Instagram, whether he's lusting after a car, lusting after money, lusting after a new job or a position, those two emotions in our culture are perfectly acceptable for men. But don't let a man be sad. Don't let a man be confused, overwhelmed, frustrated, grieving. There's all these other emotions that in our culture, it's just not okay. It's not cool for a man to express those thoughts or feelings. It's just not cool. It's not seen as acceptable. And so I think this year was really the first year where we started talking about it. We started having these conversations about it, and a lot of men talked about it. So that's what really excited me. A lot of men started talking to other men, and we all know I love that. I love the idea of men being at the helm of these movements, men leading these movements, and men addressing other men, men holding other men accountable. That really, really excites me. So I think it was a good year for them. And I hope they continue on the path that they're on, that they continue to grow and learn. Men continue to come into therapy. I have lots of male clients in my therapy practice. I am super excited about it and about working with them. I want to see more consistency from them, because sometimes they come in 1, 2, 3 times. They feel better, they feel better, and then they stop. And I know for a fact that if you've had trauma, abuse, neglect, if you've had vices in your life, if you've had addictions, if you've had, just issues, it's going to take more than 2 or 3 sessions to really unpack that. It's going to take more than 2 or 3 sessions to really get some healing going and some new tools and new skills going. And then you have to practice them. Once you learn about them, you have to practice them. So I want to see more consistency. And so I've been talking to my male clients, or my males that are within a couple. I really want you all to come pretty consistently. So that way we can really see some good traction in your progress. But yes, I think it was a good year for the men, and for the women, I think the ladies had some good things come out of this year. I'm not really sure what the whole hot girl summer was about. I didn't get it. I don't know if it had anything to do with women just sleeping around. I was like, no, no, I'm against that. No hot girl summer. But if it was about women not feeling like they needed to be in a relationship or be, attached to a man to just go out and have a good time, to go on trips with her girlfriends, to kind of just, throw herself into her best life and her business and her schooling and her job and anything else she wanted to do, then yes, I'm all for it. I think that's great. That I want to instill that in more women, that their happiness is not tied up in being in a relationship with a man, and it is perfectly okay to want that. I don't think there should be any shame attached to a woman saying, yes, I'd love to be in a healthy relationship. I'd love to be married. I think that is a perfectly healthy desire to have. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I believe that if we're not in that season, or if we need to heal or grow or learn or whatever it is we need to do, we do need to continue to be fabulous all on our own. One is a whole number. And so we don't put our life on hold because we're waiting for that other person to show up. We continue to do what we're doing. We buy the house, we go on the trip, we do whatever it is we're doing. We start the business, we go back to school, and trust and believe when you meet your partner, they will join you on whatever journey that you're on. That's what my message was to women this year, is that I want you to live your life for you, about you, put yourself first, give yourself what you need, and, develop your friendships with other women and just enjoy your life. And if you meet the man of your dreams, he's going to meet you on the path that you're on, but I want you to stay on that path, stay on that journey, and fold him into that journey. And he will in turn fold you into his journey. So nobody leaves the path that they're on. They stay on their path and they fold that person into that journey. So that's the healthy way to look at it. Yes, do I want to have a husband in my life, someone to share my life with? Of course. Do I want to wake up every day and go to sleep every night and do all the things that is involved in my life with a partner? Sure, I would love that. And until that happens, I still have a pretty awesome, fabulous life to live. So I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to go places and do things. I'm going to eat off the good plates and drink from the good glasses. And, I don't save anything for anything. I just use it. I use it. And if I run out of it, I buy more. That's what I wanted to see women kind of walk into. I believe this year women really, they had higher standards. They're starting to have higher standards. They're starting to want a little more from their partners and their relationships. And that's a good thing. I believe that the message of, feminine energy and feminine power mastery is starting to gain some traction. I'm going to keep putting my message out there, which is I think women need to lean back more and allow men to be in their masculine and lean back into your feminine and maintain those roles to have a healthy, balanced relationship. And you will have times where you have to put on your masculine hat, but you simply alert the man, say, I'm sorry, I have a suggestion here. Would you mind if I shared it? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You let him know. It's kind of like signaling when you are coming over into someone's lane. That's what I want to see happen. Just signal, hey, I'm coming over into your lane. Is that okay? And then he can do likewise. If he wants to advise you on something that you believe is in your lane or in your domain, then he would do the same. That will happen. That will happen. But I do believe that when we maintain roles within relationships, when there's the yin to the yang, that positive to negative, that really keeps the relationship balanced. It keeps the relationship exciting and spicy and all of that good stuff. It keeps the attraction there. So, but we just have to define what those roles are going to be. And once we do that, we're good. But yeah, I think this was a good year. I mean, I could talk forever about looking back on all the wonderful things that happened this year. I'm going to encourage you all to do that too. If you were in relationships, let's say, and those relationships didn't work out, they didn't, last, to that person wasn't your forever person. Take the time now to really reflect on that. Reflect on the part that you played, because you did. Okay, I know that's a hard pill to swallow. Even if you got cheated on, even if you got lied to, I want you to truly determine what part you played in that, because you did. And write it down if you have to. Talk to someone about it, kind of unpack that. And then moving forward, how do you want to do things differently? Because here's the thing. If you have had more than one relationship and those relationships, don't work out, they're not long-standing relationships, the only common denominator in them is you. So you play a part in the dissolution of these relationships or marriages. You play a part. And now's as good a time as any to figure out what that part is. And then secondly, doing something different. Even if the part you play is doing the same thing in every single relationship. No, stop that. Because you are doing the same thing and you're thinking you're going to get a different result. But if you keep getting the same result, then you need to change. And that's the dirty little secret. That's what I've been sharing with people over the last few months is I have just told them very succinctly, you need to change. You need to change. And I know for a long time that was seen as, oh, you know, you don't need to change. You can keep being who you are and, you don't need to change. No, some of us need to change. Most of us need to change. And we need to do something different so we can get different results. We need to self-reflect. We need to write some thoughts down. We need to figure out what we want, what we don't want, what we need. We need to heal. We need to grow. We need to address some past traumas and some past hurts. We need to let some things go. We need to forgive other people. We need to forgive ourselves. So something needs to happen that's different and something needs to change. So now's a great time to do that. I spend probably the last week of every year. One, I work on my vision board, and I just had a vision board event this past Saturday, and that was a really great event. We had like 15 ladies come out, and we got started on our vision boards, and we had breakfast, and I talked to them all about manifestation and intention, and it was a good time. So that was wonderful. I didn't really get to start on my vision board, so now I have about 3 days in which to get that going and get it completed. I like to complete it and put it up on the first of the year. So I'll be working on that. And then I will be having a promotion on Instagram where the new t-shirts are here. They are not on the website yet. So this is a win it before you can buy it promotion. And so if you do not follow me on Instagram, I want you to head over there now, put in Better Love Movement and follow. And when that post hits, which is going to be very shortly after this episode comes out, you must like and tag and share, and 3 people at random will be chosen to win the new t-shirt, hashtag no free sex. So you will win it before you can even buy it. So I'm really excited about that as well. I just wanted to end the year on a high note. I wanted to end this year with a really fun giveaway type promotion, and just introduce people to this shirt, this hashtag. I'm really, really excited about it. So, man, I talked at length about all the things that happened this year. Wow. Okay. Well, okay, then this might be a longer episode, but we are in episode 61. It is entitled Toxic Femininity. And I am going to talk a little bit about what I define as toxic femininity. And some of this is just doing random research. I like to research things, look up things. I love Googling. That's a great thing. Um, but I did some research, so I kind of looked just kind of exhaustively for that phrase, toxic femininity, what other people believe it means. And, I kind of have thoughts in my head about it as well. And then I also looked up some information on something called the Jezebel spirit. So, a friend of mine had done a video on this as well. She had talked about the Jezebel spirit. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about that too. I, as a person of faith, and you may not be a person of faith, you may not be Christian, but this is something that's talked about quite a bit in Christian circles, or if you're a person of faith, about this Jezebel spirit. And so I'm going to tell you the story of Jezebel in the Bible, and kind of, she was very toxic. She's a very classic toxic femininity. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. So I got some notes here. One of the things I can clearly say defines toxic femininity is when a woman uses her femininity, uses her feminine wiles for evil, okay? For negative means. So that basically to me means a woman who uses her body, her beauty, her sexuality, for gain, for immoral use. Um, it's kind of like when I see videos on social media where the woman is saying, you know, I need a man to pay my bills. I need a man to give me money when we're going out. I need a man to fund my lifestyle. And this is like on the first date. Some of these women make these videos on the first, like this is the first date they're going on with a man, and they want the man to buy food for their children. They want the man to provide money. One young lady was saying on her video that, looking the way she looked costs a lot of money. It was very expensive. Her hair, her nails, her makeup, her lashes, and she went on and on. And that she needed money. She needed to get paid to go on these dates. And she wanted him to, buy her children that were at home, buy their meals and buy her meal. And that is incredibly toxic. That there's nothing classy about that. Because here's the truth of the matter, that if you are a woman and you're an adult woman, so you're over the age of 18, and you have decided to wear a particular hairstyle, or you like to have your nails done, or you like to have lashes, or you like to wear certain clothes or certain shoes or carry certain bags, that's what I consider to be your business. Like that's your domain. These are all choices that you've made so that you can look and feel your best. I don't consider that the responsibility of the man in your life. I don't consider that the responsibility of a random man that you're dating. All of those things are called your choice. And there are lots of women out here who don't have weave, or they don't go to a hairdresser to get their hair done. They don't have nails or lashes or wear red bottoms or whatever. They don't have that. And there's lots of reasons why they don't. Maybe they don't prefer it. Maybe they can't afford it, but they don't have that for whatever reason. And, they're okay. They're feeling good about themselves. They're looking really good and, taking good care of themselves, but maybe it doesn't cost thousands of dollars to maintain their look, and that's okay. And so that's a choice that they can make. But what I say to the women who decide that they do want to have, the hair and the nails and the makeup and the lashes and all of the things that they feel like they need to look their best and to be their best, that's your choice. That's your choice to do that. So you must maintain whatever lifestyle it is that you set up. It's just like myself as a single woman who is also a mother. I own a home, I have a car, we have some pets, we have responsibilities. And so I would never assume that a man who was interested in me or wanted to take me out on a date, that he would now cover those expenses, because those expenses are called my business, my home, my children. So that in my book is toxic. If a woman expects for a man to provide X, Y, and Z, and it's a problem if he doesn't. Like, we have a problem. I'm now, upset with you. I'm angry with you. I'm mad with, it's a problem that he's not providing these things. That in my book is considered toxic, because that's your lifestyle. Whatever choices you made in it, that's for you to fund. Now, when this man asks for your hand in marriage, when he provides you with a ring, when he marries you, that then becomes our lifestyle. That then becomes the both of us, taking care of our life. That's a whole different thing. And yes, would I expect your husband to help provide? Of course I would. But until that day, no. I don't expect any man to, I don't ask any man to pay the bills in my home, to provide food, to take care of my car getting fixed, or any of that. That's all called my responsibility. Now, here's the difference. I want to make this clear for the ladies that are listening. As a feminine energy woman, when a man offers to give us anything or do anything for us that is good, that is positive, that we like, that we want, of course we say yes. We say yes. I do not deny a masculine energy man the ability to want to care for me, to want to do for me, and to give me things. Of course, we say yes. But a feminine energy woman's number one rule is we do not dictate what that man gives us. We do not dictate what that man does for us. We allow him to present or to say, oh, I'd be happy to take care of that. I'd be happy to give you that, or to pay for that, or I've had men say, oh, I'd be happy to pay for a sitter. This was years ago when my children were little. Oh, well, I'd be happy to pay for you to, have a sitter so we can go out. That's him offering. And of course I would say, oh, well, thank you so much. That would be so helpful, because I have 3 smaller children, and, unless I pay someone, I don't have a lot of options for childcare. But that's him offering. And yes, would I have said yes? Of course. And I didn't want to go out with that particular person. But, if I did, I would have most definitely said, oh, yes, thank you so much. That would be really helpful. Or if he had said, oh, we're out and we've had a great meal, let's stop by somewhere and pick up some food for your kids. Of course I would say yes. Again, that's him offering. We say yes when a good, healthy, masculine man wants to give us anything good, wants to do anything for us that is good. Of course we say yes. But a toxic feminine woman will dictate to the man what that is. She will tell him, do this, pay that, I need this, I need that. Or he will present something and she will tell him it's not good enough. I don't want it. I don't like it. That is toxic, because a good, healthy, feminine energy woman is receptive and open. She's appreciative. She appreciates anything someone gives to her that is good, that is positive. Okay? So that's one of the things I see going around, is women basically dictating to a man what he needs to give, how much it needs to cost, where it needs to come from, just everything. That is masculine energy. That is not feminine energy. Feminine energy is a open, receptive energy, and it allows the man to give and do, but it does not dictate. So I've also seen where a woman will be incredibly angry or violent. She will hit, she will punch, she will scratch, she will choke. And then she will hide behind, oh, I'm a woman. You can't hit me back. You can't push me. You can't choke me. You can't grab me. And if you do, I'll have you arrested. Now, this is after she has physically assaulted a man. That is toxic. That is toxic. That is a woman using her femininity in a toxic way. She is hiding behind being a woman to mask her being abusive. And women do this not just physically. They throw things, they hit men. I mean, I've done it. I have done it. Now, this was over 25 years ago, but yes, I have gotten into tussles and fights and scratched and hit. And then if I got hit back or if I got, grabbed, or then I oh my gosh, you're not going to hit a woman. What kind of man hits a woman? But at the end of the day, it should have never come to that, because I should never have to physically assault anyone. I should walk away. I should leave the situation. But toxic feminine women will do that physically. They will do that with their words, and that's a big one. Women will use their tongue like a razor blade. They will use words to hurt men. And that is very toxic. They can just use their words in such a cutting way to really, really cut a man deeply. I believe a woman who is unappreciative is toxic. A woman who's unappreciative, who always wants more. It's never good enough. She wants more and more and more, whether it be material, emotional. A woman who's desperate for attention from others and needy. A woman who's nagging, who's on the constant, do this, do that. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. I teach my feminine energy women how to talk with their boyfriends and their husbands in a way in which to inspire them to want to help, to want to give and do, and to be that healthy masculine man. But there are ways that women can speak to a man that is not going to do that. It's going to lead, into the opposite direction. And so it's really, really important that, you learn these feminine energy skills. Women have, they have great influence, and they should be using that in a positive way. They have this really great influence over their men, the men in their lives, but they have to use it in a healthy and positive way. So if a woman is using her feminine influence in a toxic way, if she is manipulative, if she is controlling, that's when femininity becomes toxic. We're going to talk more about the controlling nature, which was like Jezebel in the Bible. She was incredibly controlling, lusting after or coveting what someone else has, being jealous, being envious, being insecure, using that gift of persuasion for evil instead of good. All of those things can be very toxic in a woman. We talked about the sexual favors for money or for resources, being promiscuous, and, women who are married and they're cheating, and they are, just looking to have, whether it's a need for more attention, more time, whether it's even for sexual reasons, women who are just in a constant state of wanting more and more and more. And in those ways, a woman can be incredibly, incredibly toxic. Also, I have seen where a woman who isn't a good mother, she's not an attentive mother, she abuses or abandons her children with others, whether it be because she's using drugs or alcohol, she has other vices. But that's a very toxic woman. A woman who doesn't take responsibility for her children and who cares for her children. And even to some extent, we heard some talk about this year too, where they talked about a woman who purposefully speaks very negatively about her children's father, or a woman who denies her children's father visitation. And a lot of women, in their pain, in their heartache, in their pain with their children's father, they will lash out. They will lash out in the only way they know. And unfortunately, they are speaking ill of the father of their children. And to some extent, I I empathize with the pain. I empathize with the pain that the man has caused you. And to that I say, if the relationship is over, it's time to get help and get healing. It's time to get some adult friends that you can talk with about this, that you can vent to, because it shouldn't be your children. That's not good for them. It's not good for the relationship with their father. And unless their father's abusive or neglectful, or there's something really egregious there, there has to be something really, really egregious there. You want to be able to compartmentalize. There are lots of men who are horrible husbands, horrible boyfriends, right? Horrible romantic partners, and yet they make better fathers. Like they're good fathers, they're just horrible romantic partners. And being able to compartmentalize that and say, okay, he wasn't a good partner for me, but if he can do what's right by our children, if he can provide for them emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, if he can protect them and, have a relationship with them, okay, I'm open to that. And I'm going to work on forgiving and healing from the stuff that he and I went through. That's the order of the day. That's it. That's really all you can do. But for the sake of the children and yourself, I want you to work on healing that. Because yes, if some bad things went down between you and he, I could see how that would be coloring how you feel about him. And talking with someone, talking with a therapist, and like I said, learning how to separate those two things. And you don't have to be best friends. I'm not best friends. It's not like that. I'm not super friendly, but it's kind of like running a business together. For the sake of the business, we have to communicate. We have to continue to be in communication with each other. And so I'm civil, I'm cordial, but that's it. There isn't a whole lot of extra communication or talking. It's just about the business we're running and just making sure things are running well. So yeah, you got your half of the business money, I got my half of the business money, and we're coming together and just making sure things run well. But even that, speaking ill of your child's father, especially to your children, just raking him over the coals every chance you get, teeth sucking, eye rolling when he comes around, just all of that. There's nothing positive about that. And it's going to hurt your children. To me, it hurts everyone. So just managing those emotions the best way you know how, because that too can be incredibly toxic. And then the woman who cannot be led. And this is something that I've seen. I have seen it. I have seen couples come in and the man wants to lead. He wants to be in his masculine. He wants to feel the respect and the love and the honor. And the woman who just will not be led. She wants to be in charge. She wants to be in control. And no matter what the man says or does, he could be a stand-up guy and just a good, healthy, masculine man. And he's trying to be the head of his home. He's trying to make good decisions. He's trying to include her in those decisions. He's trying to love her. And she rejects him. And she just wants more and more and more power and control. She may use guilt or manipulation to get what she wants. And the truth be told, a weaker man will fall for this. Like, he'll fall for this tactic, and he'll let her run over him and run the whole house and run the kids, and the kids won't really respect him because they'll see mom is in control of everything. But that is very toxic, that they're not seeing a partnership, a healthy man and a healthy woman coming together and maintaining roles that help their home to work and run well. So that's a very toxic woman, someone who just cannot be led, who cannot be led. I've also heard a lot of women say, and I used to be one of them, I can definitely own this one. It's been years, but I used to say years ago, I don't get along with other women. I'm a guy's girl. Most of my friends are guys, and that comes from somewhere. That comes from a place where we either don't feel comfortable, we haven't learned enough skills to relate to other women. We may have some envy or some jealousy of other women. We got some stuff going on. We may feel insecure, so a woman who says she cannot get along with other women or doesn't like other women, that's something to look deeper into. That's just something to look into because, usually, yeah, there's not every woman there, but you've got to have a few girlfriends that you mesh well with, that you get along well with. But if you don't get along with any women, you only get along with men, I mean, that's really saying something about you. So that's something that to me, makes my red flag go up, is why would that be? And I also have on my list women who are vulgar, women who are loud, women who are brash, women who lack class, women who are profane, angry, violent, women who are abusers of substances, women who are bitter, who are broken, women who are distrustful. All of these things are leading to a very toxic state. And when you see them, when you notice them, again, it's that flag going up saying, there's something here. There's something to that. What's going on? So ladies, my rule of thumb has always been that you should be hard to get, but easy to be with. And remember, in a past podcast episode, it could have been last week, I found out that the number one trait, the number one quality that men and women should look for in a romantic partner is agreeableness. Someone who's kind, someone who's easygoing. And when I really dug deeper into that, and I really started to think about who I am as a woman and how I've been in my past relationships, I was like, wow, I've become more agreeable as time has gone on. And agreeable, not in the sense of being run over or letting people get over on me, but I've just been more laid back. I've been more open to things and experiences and people, and not having to make a federal case out of everything. I have definitely grown more agreeable as I've gotten older and been in more relationships. It's like, it's not that serious. Every little thing doesn't have to be a big deal. I've let a lot of things go. I have just become more agreeable. But one of the things for sure is that's going to be a part of your journey is healing past traumas, healing past hurts, whether that be childhood trauma, sexual abuse, rape, physical abuse, people who've had church hurt. They've had hurts from church folks or, religion or spirituality. All those things have to be addressed. We really, really have to address those things so we can get to a place where we feel good again. I also have on my list that women who are what I call one-dimensional. And to me, a one-dimensional woman is like an Instagram model. That to me is very toxic. That is basically giving the impression that what you see on Instagram, the body, the face, the makeup, the hair, like that's it. That's it. That's who the woman is. That's all. What you see is what you get. And we all know that is not the truth. That woman, that Instagram model, has a family. She may have children of her own. She's been hurt. She has all kinds of real life issues. She's got to pay bills. She's got to go to the doctor if she gets sick. What you see is not what you get. There's so much more to us as people, and definitely as women. But when we project that image, when we project the image as, I'm only seen as pretty, I'm only seen as beautiful, I'm only seen as this body and these clothes with this hair and these nails, it's very one-dimensional. And it is toxic. It is toxic. It is like saying, this is it. This is the best of who I am and can be is what you see. And we know that's not true. We as people are all multidimensional. There's so many parts to us. There's so much more to us than what you see. And so as women, I think it's important that we present pieces of those parts to the people in our lives. Like they should get a little bit of everything and not just this one-dimensional caricature, which is the Instagram model. That, yes, I look good, I'm in these clothes, and that's it. That's it. That's all I am. That's all I can be. And we know for a fact there's more to it than that. So I definitely believe that idea of if you're a woman and you're presenting this caricature of yourself, if you're presenting this one-dimensional person, I believe that's toxic. That is not, one, it's not helping you because you're multidimensional and the person who's just looking and seeing is going to figure that out one day. And then two, it's not helping anyone else because we can't live in this one-dimensional world where, we see a woman and what we see is what we get and that's it. I mean, so if she presents anything different than that, then we're like, "Oop, this is not what I want. This is not the thing that I saw. So now I need to go on to the next and the next and the next." No, we're all multidimensional. And so it's important that we present all the different sides of us to others. We're not just the what you see is what you get. And using our feminine, persuasion, using our body, using our physical looks as, just using that in a negative way, using that in a way that discredits the other parts of us. That is very, very toxic. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this Jezebel spirit. And I did some research about it. I don't know everything there is to know about it. I do know about the story of Jezebel in the Bible. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about her. But she was something. She was something. And she met, oh my gosh, she met the most untimely end, because she was something. Okay. So Jezebel's story is found in 1st and 2nd Kings in the Bible. She was the daughter of Ithbaal, king of Tyre, and priest of the cult of Baal, a cruel, sensuous, and revolting false god whose worship involved sexual degradation and lewdness. Ahab, the king of Israel, married Jezebel and led the nation into Baal worship. Ahab and Jezebel's reign over Israel is one of the saddest chapters in the history of God's people. So, she was the daughter of a priest king, and she was married to Ahab, and she persuaded Ahab into worshiping this god Baal. She was very cruel. She commanded that prophets be killed. And I mean, she was really something. And so her actions provoked the wrath of Elijah, according to 1 Kings 17. He accurately prophesied the onset of a severe drought as divine retribution. So it says, sometime later, Elijah had the Baal priests slain after they lost a contest with him to see which god would heed prayers to ignite a bull offering, Baal or Yahweh. When Jezebel heard of the slaughter, she angrily swore to have Elijah killed, forcing him to flee for his life. All right. And there was another story in there about her where there was a vineyard next to the palace, and her husband coveted it. He wanted it, and it belonged to a commoner named Naboth of Jezreel. And he would not let him have his vineyard because it was the inheritance of his father. It was passed down to him. And so Jezebel falsely charged him with blasphemy, which led to Naboth's death by stoning. So Elijah confronted Ahab in the vineyard, predicting that he and all his heirs would be destroyed and that dogs in Jezreel would devour Jezebel. Oh, wow. So it says a few years later, Ahab perished in battle with the Syrians. Jezebel lived on for approximately another 10 years. Elijah's successor, Elisha, the prophet, equally determined to end Baal worship, had a military commander named Jehu, anointed to be king of Israel, an act that provoked civil war, for Jezebel's son Jehoram then ruled. It says Jehu killed Jehoram at the site of Naboth's property and then went to Jezebel's palace. So she was expecting him, and so she got dressed up, she put on makeup, she adorned herself, and she was looking down at him from her window, and she was taunting him. And it says Jehu ordered her eunuchs to throw her out of the window. Later, when he commanded that she be properly buried as a king's daughter, it was discovered that dogs had eaten most of her body. So boy, oh boy, she was something. She was something, but she was a woman who definitely used her feminine influence in a very wicked way. And she was very controlling. She was very manipulative. And so it's not just about lusting sexually, but it's really about a lust for power. It's a woman whose lust for power will be her downfall, and the downfall of the men around her, or in this case, her husband. So I thought that was really interesting. And then there's a list here, the 12 indicators of a Jezebel spirit. So it says people influenced by a spirit of Jezebel have fear issues of rejection. They control others so that they will not be hurt. They target the headship. They will offer free help to be their top assistant because they want their protection. They make commitments and promises quickly and use recommendations from others to impress others. They seem super spiritual in an exaggerated way to gain acceptance and attention, but they have their own agenda. They isolate and pit people against each other privately and individually behind closed doors. They love to play the victim. They are never wrong. They blame everyone else. They use false humility and feel entitled or owed something. They are not accountable to anyone and often accuse others of being a Jezebel spirit. They look for others who are hurt and wounded to mentor them. They accuse people falsely. They operate with insecurity. And they initiate prayers based on selfish motivation. Wow. All right, so I'm going to link to this article because I found several really good articles about this, but I'm going to link to one of them in the show notes. But we all know women like this. We all know toxic women who, whether it's because, and their excuse may be, well, I've been hurt, I've been cheated on, I've been used and abused, and so now I'm going to be the one that's going to be in control. I'm going to be the one that's going to do this to other people before other people can do it to me. That's what I believe, happens to a lot of women. And then you have some women that just, this is how they are. So I'm not really sure where that attitude or that spirit comes from. But yes, a lot of women have been hurt or abused or traumatized. And so this is in response to it. And then some women, this is just the nature of who they are. And so these types of things, yes, can be a sign of toxic femininity. And so it's really important that we're reflecting on this. I know sometimes I will even do that. I'll have to sit down and reflect and say, in what areas do I find myself, having some toxic traits or traits that are not going to have a good outcome. I have to sort of sit down and reflect about that. But it's important that we do that so we make sure that we're on track. And just like I spoke of earlier, I think men went through kind of some epiphanies this year. They had to kind of look in the mirror. They had to have the spotlight on them to really see some of their stuff. And women do too. We have to be called out on some of our stuff. And we have to be held accountable for some of the toxic things that we are doing. And I definitely think the one about, oh, every man that I date, every man, that comes in contact with me owes me something, has to pay my bills, has to pay for my hair and my nails and my shoes and my clothes. I believe that is incredibly toxic because, again, it's your life, it's your lifestyle, and you should pay for it. You should take care of yourself until you and a man decide to be together, and then that's something you do together. But no, that's called your life. That's called your responsibility. And the same with your children. You were an active participant in having these children. And so, yes, he should, financially help to take care of them. And so should you. That is a responsibility that you have. So I just wanted to throw some things out there. This is all food for thought, things for you to think about. If you have any comments, please leave them. I love getting your comments. I love getting your feedback. And it also gives me some great content ideas. So let me know what you think about this episode. I don't know why it took me to the end of the year to talk about toxic femininity because, yes, just like toxic masculinity, there are women who are acting in ways that are toxic. And so, yes, if I missed anything, please let me know. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. But thank you so much, as usual, for listening to the episode. I hope you have an amazing new year. Happy New Year. And everything that you've ever wanted, I hope it comes to you in 2020. But remember to stay open to love. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.